Oh, right here.
Oh, that. Oh,
Thank
oh.
you.
We're here. Go here. Go that way. Now we can talk.
Oh, thank you. Do you need it to be a specific color?
All right, ready now? How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Ready, Sherry?
Yes.
Calling case 1757340, people of the state of Michigan versus Juwan Plummer. Defendants charged in count 1, weapons, firearms discharged in or at a building causing serious impairment. Count 2, weapons, firearms discharged in or at a building causing injury. Count 3, assault with a dangerous weapon. Count 4, assault with a dangerous weapon. Count 5, felony firearm. Count 6, felony firearm. Count 7, felony firearm. Count 8, felony firearm. Counsel for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Sarah DeYoung on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Victoria Burton Harris on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Juwan Plummer, who is present in the courtroom and seated in front of me.
Your Honor, it's my understanding we are doing a preliminary exam today. I would ask that there be a mutual sequestration order ordered with an exception for the officer in charge, Detective Carrie Mason, to remain in the courtroom.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, if there are any other witnesses who may testify in this matter today or in a future hearing, please step into the hall and to further notice. How many witnesses will it be?
4, Your Honor.
Okay, call your first witness, please.
Your Honor, the people would call Officer Tyler Simmons.
Sir, please step forward, give your name and spell to the court report. Yes. Your name and spell. Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Thank you, sir. Please have a seat right there. That microphone is to your left. Swing that around to your mouth and speak directly into that for us, okay? You may begin when you're ready.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you state your name and occupation for the record, please?
Tyler Simmons, I'm a Detroit police officer,
How long have you been a Detroit police officer?
approximately 14 months,
14 months? Okay, and where are you currently assigned?
12th precinct.
Now, were you working on the night of April 16th, 2017?
Yes, I was.
What shift were you working that night?
I was working midnights, 11 to 7.
So you started at 11 in the evening?
Yes.
And that's a Sunday night, Easter Sunday, right?
Yes, it was.
Now, on that date, what was your assignment?
Scout 12-8 with my partner, Matthew Winquist.
Were you in uniform or were you in plainclothes?
I was in full uniform.
What about your partner, Officer Winquist?
He was also in full uniform.
Were you guys on foot that night or were you in a vehicle?
We were in a scout car, fully marked.
Fully marked?
Yes.
Now, at some point, was your attention drawn to an address on Lejour Avenue in the city of Detroit?
Yeah, we had a priority 2 run of a B&E of an unoccupied residence.
I'm going to slow you down just a little bit. What's a priority 2 run mean?
Just lower priority normally means nobody's life's in danger, but it's stated in our notes that home across the street had a door kicked in, and the caller had previously had their home broken into a week prior.
Okay. Now, at that point, did you know who the caller was?
I don't recall the name, but we did have a callback number.
Okay. Now, you said Did you get dispatched there, or how did you get to that location?
We self-initiated it. We volunteered for the run.
How does somebody volunteer for a run in the city of Detroit?
I called over on dispatch. I looked for the highest priority run, and then I chose that run because it had less time on it. So
Less
it's
time
a
on it.
newer run, possibly that somebody was going to be at that home. So
Did you get to the address on the shore?
yes, we did.
And now, you said it's in a B&E of an occupied dwelling was the report that you got?
Yes, across the street from the location given.
So did you park right in front of the location?
No, we did not.
Where did you park?
We parked a block north of, like one house north.
Join you on the porch?
No, we did not.
Why not, if you know?
Part of our training as well.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
We don't want to be close together, so we're not in the same path of gunfire.
Do you know where Officer Winquist was if he wasn't on the porch with you?
When I looked back, he was starting to walk across the sidewalk towards the abandoned home.
Okay. And that's the abandoned home that you're talking about that's next to the Leisure address?
Yes.
This door that you're knocking on, do you have a chance to look at it while you're knocking on it?
Yes, I see the door. No signs of forced entry.
Any signs of damage to the door?
No.
What about the window?
There was no damage to the window.
Now, you said that you waited until the dog stopped barking to announce police.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
It's normally, from when I had went to runs previously, that meant somebody was most likely coming to the door to, calm down the animal or something. in
Have
those
you gone
regards.
to runs like this in the past?
Yes.
Approximately how many?
Close to 100 or so.
When you announce yourself as the police in the past, did you get a response?
Yes.
How does that work usually?
Normally somebody asks, who is it? And I'll state Detroit Police, and proceeding by them opening the door.
Did that happen this time?
No, it did not.
So you said that once the dog stopped barking, you yelled at police.
Yes.
What happened next?
I heard a loud noise coming from the left side of me. I was attempting to turn around to ask for a call back, and I heard a loud noise, felt a burning sensation on my left side of my body, the left arm.
Where were you standing when that happened?
I had taken about 1 or 2 steps from the position of the brick, but I was still, between the brick and the door and the window.
Was that on the porch or on the grass?
I was on the porch still, yes.
Do you know where your partner was when you heard that loud bang and felt the burning sensation?
The last time I saw him, he was on the sidewalk. I was not sure at the time.
What did you do next?
I was forced to the right of the porch. I pulled out my department-issued weapon, called my partner's name several times, observed him laying on the sidewalk in front of the home.
What did you do after you saw that?
I dispatched a radio officer down, stated, 12-8, just kept saying officer down, shots fired, and I pointed my weapon towards where I observed a large hole in the window.
Was that hole there before?
No, it was not.
Before you saw that hole, did the lights come on in the house?
No, I don't believe so.
Before the hole was there, did you see the blinds move at all or anything?
No, I did not.
You said you were calling on the radio officer down. Where were you when you were calling on the radio?
I was in the driveway, coming towards my partner.
What happened next?
I ran to my partner.
What kind of condition was he in at that time?
He couldn't move. He was conscious. He stated to me that he was hit from behind, but I wasn't sure where he was positioned exactly to where. So I scanned around the area and just pointed my department-issued weapon towards where I observed the hole where I believe the shots came from.
Why did you do that?
because that's where I believe that the shot was fired.
Did you have any other concerns? You said you were pointing your weapon in that direction.
I was in fear for mine and my partner's life.
Did you see any injuries that your partner would have had at that point?
I observed he was bleeding from his face, and he stated to me I was trying to apply pressure, but I couldn't really apply any pressure to his face. He stated that he was hit in the neck. I set down my department-issued weapon, lifted up his body, and put my left hand under his, to apply pressure to his wound where I felt the blood coming from.
Where was that?
It was on the left side of his neck.
What happened next?
I picked up my department-issued weapon, punched out towards the window, saw the blinds move. I kept announcing, Detroit police, do not come out.
Were you announcing that quietly, or how were you saying it?
I was yelling as loud as I possibly could, while I was also calling on dispatch and pointing my weapon towards the home as well.
And that's all while you were with your partner?
Yes.
What happened next?
I observed the blinds move, fired one shot,
Why did you do that?
because I was in fear that we didn't have any cover. I believed that we were in danger.
Did you know if somebody had another round, or did you know what happened to the ballistic?
No, I was.
So you didn't know if there was somebody that was going to fire again, did you?
No, I did not.
After you fired your shot, what happened next?
I kept calling on the radio. I saw a woman approach the window. I gave her verbal commands stating that I was Detroit police, get out of the window, I will shoot, please get out of the window.
How was it that you were able to see her in the window?
I looked through the window. She had moved part of the blinds and was standing right where the shot had been fired.
How long did she stay there?
To me, it seemed very quick. I'm not sure, probably 30 seconds or so.
Did there come a point where you tried to get some medical help for your partner?
Yes, my partner stated to me to get his gauze out of the vehicle. I attempted to drag him out of the way because I didn't want to leave him there. He started screaming, so he was in pain. I didn't want to tear open his wounds. So I attempted to run to the car. He kept yelling to me, keys, keys. I ran back, grabbed the keys off his belt, went to the car, grabbed his gauze, and then continued to apply pressure to his neck.
You said you had tried to drag him. How did you end up dragging him at all?
I slightly moved him, and he screamed. I stopped right away.
You said you were applying gauze to his neck.
Yes.
What happened next?
I sat there, was calling out on the radio. Finally, I saw multiple scout cars coming towards our direction. I was screaming for them where our location was, so they would be aware. I observed Officer Woods and Officer Owens from the vehicle. There was multiple officers there. I just couldn't recall who was there. They grabbed his legs. I picked up his torso, and we carried him to the scout car.
When you're talking about his legs and
My partner, yes.
Officer Winquist?
Yes.
You carried him to which scout car?
I'm not sure of the scout car number, but it was of Officer Woods and Officer Owens' vehicle.
What happened after you carried him to the scout car?
I fell into the vehicle with him. He was on top of me. I continued to apply pressure to his neck. I was talking to him, making sure he was conscious, making sure he was squeezing my fingers and telling him to move his legs so he knew he had a movement of his body.
What happened next?
We arrived at Sinai Grace Hospital.
And when you got to Sinai Grace, was there anyone waiting for you?
No, there was not.
So what did you do?
Officer Winquist actually had stood up out of the vehicle and took a step or two. I got out of the vehicle and picked him up from behind and bear hugged him and escorted him inside the hospital.
How did you do that?
I went under his arms, grabbed him by his chest and just carried him in there.
And what happened once you got inside the hospital?
We attempted to go in the first surgery room. There was no bed in there. Then I carried him over to the second room and helped pull him on the bed, and then took off his uniform and radio, and then they told me and Officer Woods to leave the room.
And you said they told you that. Who was that?
The hospital personnel.
What did you do after you were told to leave the room?
The nurses and hospital people at the hospital told me where to clean off the blood of my partner. I went over to the sink, began cleaning off my uniform, my face, where I had observed that I had multiple wounds to my left arm and on my face.
Can you describe those injuries to the court?
I had small cuts on my face and just multiple graze wounds to my arms and on my face as well.
That all happened on April 16th and into the early morning of April 17th, correct?
Yes.
Do you know about the status of Officer Winquist at this time?
He is currently at home. He's out of the hospital. His jaw is wired shut.
Do you know if he's had to have any medical treatment?
Yes, he had multiple surgeries to remove the pellets from his neck and near his carotid artery.
Just one moment, please, John. There was one thing that you had said, Officer Simmons, that I wanted to follow up with you on. You said that before this blast came through the window, you had turned.
Yeah, it started to turn, and I grabbed for my mic on the center of my chest to call for a callback.
Can you describe for the court what a callback is?
We have the numbers to whoever makes the call most of the time, and gave a call to that number that was on our dispatch, but I was unable to do so.
Did you ever get a chance to make that request?
No.
Nothing further.
Good afternoon, Officer Simmons.
Good afternoon.
How's your arm?
Doing better.
Are you on any medication that would by chance affect your ability to testify today?
No, I'm not.
You've been an officer for 14 months
That's correct.
in the 12th precinct,
Yes.
and you were dispatched to Leisure Street as a result of a 911 call, correct?
Yes, I was.
And you were dispatched for breaking and entering in an unoccupied dwelling, weren't you?
Yes.
How often do you respond to B&Es?
Very often.
When you say very often, is that once a week? 5
Once.
times a week?
Probably every other day or so that I'm at work.
Once per day?
Yeah.
Every other day?
Yeah,
Once
so
per-
it varies, sometimes multiple in a day.
Just an
But
average?
yes.
Okay. Were you given any additional information at the time of the dispatch other than there was a B&E on Leisure and an unoccupied dwelling?
Yes, it stated that the house had been previously broken into, I believe it said a week before, and also that the home across the street had had the door kicked in.
Were you given an address to report to or just a street?
The address that I was given was of the caller, the 20524 The Shore.
But you knew that that wasn't the address where the B&E was taking place, correct?
Yes.
What time did you receive the dispatch?
I called it out to dispatch that I volunteered for the run. I believe it was around 11:20, and we were delayed en route. We had made a traffic stop before that.
So you knew there was a B&E in progress, And you made a traffic stop before you went to the scene?
Yeah, we made a traffic stop. The run had already been a little older, so we made a traffic stop of a vehicle that supposedly had been fit the description of a car that was pushing and stealing a lot of cars in the area.
Why did you determine that that was a more important run than a B&E in progress?
Objection to the right.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. Why did you determine that a traffic stop was more urgent to tend to than a B&E in progress?
Just the nature of the call, that it was an unoccupied dwelling.
What time did you arrive on Leisure Street?
I believe it was around 11:40.
It was pretty dark,
Yes, it was.
and you were in a marked squad car, correct?
Yes, I was.
Were your overhead lights on or off?
Our overhead lights were off, but our hazard lights were on.
Why were your hazard lights on?
Just so people can see the car and that they don't hit our vehicle.
Was your siren on or off?
No, it was off.
When you arrived on scene, you and your partner, you didn't park your car in front of Mr. Plummer's home, did you?
No, we did not.
In fact, you parked your squad car or your scout car down the street from Mr. Plummer's home near the corner at 8 Mile, correct?
Yes, we did.
And again, you knew that you were responding to an unoccupied dwelling across the street from Mr. Plummer's home.
Yes.
After you parked, did you immediately get out of your car?
Yes, we did.
What was the first thing you did once you got out of your vehicle?
I got out of the vehicle and I shined my flashlight towards the abandoned home next to the plumber's residence.
Why didn't you shine the light on the unoccupied dwelling across the street that had the reported B&E?
My partner was checking over there. It's just a safety precaution.
Who was driving that night?
My partner, Matthew Winquist.
So you get out of the vehicle on the passenger side, you shine your light on the abandoned or vacant home next to Mr. Plummer's home.
Yes.
Your partner shines his flashlight on the unoccupied dwelling across the street.
Yes, all the homes across the street to look for signs of forced entry.
I'm going to play a clip of a video that night. This is a video of that you provided for the scene.
Your Honor, for the record, I recognize what this is. I believe it's going to be marked as defense exhibit number 1. I have no objection to this action.
Are you moving for execution?
I am, Your Honor.
Admitted.
Thank you. Officer Simmons, I'd like to direct your attention to the screen behind you, please. If you want, you can scoot your chair out a bit so that you can see. That's your scout car pulling up, correct?
Yes, it is.
And you appear to your partner who's driving. He stops the scout car, and then he pulls up a little closer, much further beyond Mr. Plummer's house, pretty much at the corner of Leisure and 8 Mile, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that's your partner getting out with the flashlight.
Yes.
Now, this is the unoccupied dwelling that we're looking at, the side and back end of it.
For the record, she's indicating the structure in the top right-hand corner of the video.
So noted.
And it looks like I'm watching you and your partner shine lights, both of you, in the same direction as Mr. Plummer's home in an unoccupied house next to his home, correct?
Yes, it looks to be.
I'm sorry. Where would Mr. Plummer's home be?
Mr. Plummer's home is right there.
But objection, that's not been established as testimony, that's argument,
Yeah,
that's,
I'm asking her. Where would Mr. Plummer's home be, sir?
It would be on the other side of the street. So where
The top portion of this screen,
yeah, right where that light's flashing, it looks like that would be around where it is.
like the second house from the corner?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Now, Officer Simmons, did you see any flashlights hit at the unoccupied dwelling across from Mr. Plummer's home on this video, or do you see only flashlights shined onto Mr. Plummer's home and the home next to his?
It believed when he first got out of the car that he shined the light to me, but
Did
I'm
you see that
uncertain.
on this video?
Yes, that's what it looked like to me, but and as we were approaching
you
as
all
well,
ever-
we shined our lights into the home as well too.
Did you all ever approach that unoccupied dwelling across the street from Mr. Plummer's home?
No, we did not.
Now, as I understand it, you were responding to a 911 call for breaking and entering in an unoccupied dwelling. Is it standard police procedure to not approach that unoccupied dwelling?
Because it didn't have an address, yes.
But you knew the location of it. You knew it was across the street from a home that you did have the address,
Yeah,
correct?
but there was multiple homes across the street.
Okay. But did you approach any of the homes across the street on that video?
No, because we were not aware which house it was.
So just to be clear, you knew there was a home across the street
Yes.
from Mr. Plummer's that had a reported B&E, but you at no time, according to this video, ever approached any home across the street from Mr. Plummer's, correct?
Yes, because we had seen no signs of forced entry across the street.
But you never looked, you just testified.
I looked at,
Arguing with the witness, or you have another question? Why don't you rephrase that?
How did you know there were no signs of forced entry, Officer Simmons, if you never set foot on any of the premises across the street from Mr. Plummer's home?
because I looked across the street and stated that the door was kicked in on the notes. It did not.
It's your testimony this afternoon, however, that when you got out of the vehicle, you shined your light on the same side of the street as Mr. Plummer's home, correct?
Yes, initially.
Why did you enter onto the property of Mr. Plummer's home?
To respond to find out more information on the B&E of the unoccupied dwelling.
Was there a car in the driveway of Mr. Plummer's home?
Yes, I believe so.
Do you know what kind of car it was?
I just remember, it might have been a Cadillac, I don't remember.
Did you at any point move your squad car during this incident?
No, we did not.
You testified with Prosecutor DeYoung that you didn't see anything was wrong as you looked through the window of Mr. Plummer's home?
Yes, I did not observe any holes or anything like that from the window.
And you also testified that you put your head to the window to see further inside?
I didn't put it into the window, but I looked,
You got pretty
You
close
know,
to the window?
yeah, just to see. I don't like to be surprised when people are, just come out.
And at the same time, you're still shining your flashlight as you are looking inside Mr. Plummer's home?
Yes.
You testified that you knocked on the front door. Did you knock on any other door?
No.
Did you walk the perimeter of the house?
I believe my partner.
But you did not.
No, I did not.
You didn't knock on a window of any kind, did you?
No, I did not.
Now, Mr. Plummer's front door consists of an interior door and a heavy steel armor guard door, correct?
Yes.
And you knocked on the exterior steel armor guard door?
Yes, I did.
And you did so with not your knuckles, but with the back of your...
Back of my hand as well as my flashlight.
I might ask, why did you go to that particular house, the second house off the corner, as opposed to maybe even the first house off the corner? What drew your attention to that house?
Which house? The one,
Mr. Plummer's house.
Mr. Plummer, because that was the house, that was the address that we were given per dispatch that had called.
Oh, I thought it was the house across the street, the unoccupied dwelling.
That-
That's where the call came from.
The call came from 20524 The Shore, and
I
it
see.
stated that a home across the street had the door kicked in,
I see.
so we weren't certain of the address.
Okay, thank you.
Lieutenant, I'm going to approach you with defendant's proposed exhibit number 2. I've shown it to the prosecutor. Can you identify the photograph, what's on this photograph?
This is a picture of the steel security door and the door in front of 20524 The Shore.
And this steel security door is the door that was locked that you made contact with the bottom of your fist, closed fist, and your flashlight, correct?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, I move to admit defendant's exhibit or proposed exhibit number 2.
No objection.
Admitted?
Thank you. Why did you use your flashlight on this steel door to knock, as opposed to your knuckles?
Just because I had it, I don't like to use both hands. I always have my hand ready, my right hand free normally, just in case anything happens, like an ambush situation.
Once you jammed on the door, no one answered, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, prosecution, I stipulate to defendant's exhibit number 3. It is the audio of Officer Simmons calling for backup, explaining what just happened at the home of Mr. Plummer.
Okay. So stipulated?
So stipulated.
Admitted. Can you put that to the microphone so I can hear it?
Absolutely. I'm going to actually connect it. Will the audio play through the television?
Oh, you may. Can you start from the beginning, please?
6. Well, 6 on 12, 12:805, 12:8. Matt, can you hear me? Answer up. Radio on track. She's still inside the house. Call me on channel 5. Yeah, check it. Go and tell us what happened. I knocked on the door. I sat there, waited. Was about to walk off the porch, and I heard one shot fired. I took cover, and I observed Winquist on the ground. I fired one shot into the house. I saw the person. I believe it came from that house through the window. All right, 14. 172, can you start the command post? John?
Is that your voice, Officer Simmons?
Yes, it was.
And you stated on that audio, right after this incident took place, that you knocked, you sat there, you waited, then you heard a shot. Is that what you heard yourself say on that audio?
Yes, it is.
And is that an accurate statement of what happened?
Yes, somewhat, yes.
And that summary of the events took place moments after you heard the shot, correct?
No, the rest of that description was once I was in the hospital, they asked me to give them information. But the initial part of the audio was me at the scene giving verbal commands.
Okay. Where did you take cover?
I didn't actually have cover, but I took off to the right of the house, because I believe the gunshot came from the left and then began coming over.
Now, you've listened to this audio, you testified that that's your voice on the audio, and you never hear yourself on that audio say that you announced yourself as police, did you?
Nope, not on the audio, no.
Is it safe to say that you were in fear at this moment?
At that moment, I was in the hospital. The only thing I was in fear of was my partner.
No. At the moment that this incident took place, where you heard a shot and you shot back into the home, is it safe to say that you were in fear?
Yes, I was.
In fact, you testified that you shot back into the house after seeing movement because you were in fear of your life.
Yes, the blinds moved.
How soon did you return fire into the home after you heard the gunshot?
I'm not 100% sure, but it was once I ran over to Officer Winquist.
So Officer Winquist was on the sidewalk,
Yes,
and it was after you went back to the sidewalk to where he was that you fired back.
yes,
So you were further away from the house when you shot back than when you initially heard the shot.
yes.
And it was at the time that you were on the sidewalk, not the front porch, that you were yelling into the home giving commands, correct?
When I was in front of the house, I had just called Officer down. That was it. And then once I ran to Officer Winquist, I was giving my verbal commands.
Can you tell me, you testified that you wanted to request a callback, but before you could get on the radio and request that callback, that's when you heard a shot from inside of the home. Why did you want to request the callback?
To see if somebody was home, maybe they had left. I was unsure.
And how would that have helped you investigate an unoccupied dwelling being across the street?
So that somebody at the actual caller could give me the information that I needed and answer the door.
What information did you need about a B&E of an unoccupied dwelling across the street to further investigate?
I needed an address.
No further questions at this time.
Can you redirect?
Officer Simmons, are you saying that what was just played was two separate audios?
Yes, it was two separate audios that were placed together.
why did you recite certain facts about what happened? Did you have any other concerns besides saying absolutely everything you did when you approached that door?
Yes, at the time had just pulled up my partner and came out of the room, and they asked for the information. So
For the, may we have a recess, brief recess?
Coach.
Thank
Back on the record.
Let me ask you this, Officer Simmons. When you're calling officer down and trying to get medical treatment for your partner who's bleeding on the sidewalk, is your priority to describe everything that happened while you approached the door, or is your priority to get help for your partner?
no, it was not. And at the time, that brief description, I remember putting it over the air. It was at the hospital. It weren't. I don't remember putting that up.
Would you say that what happened to you on April 16th was a traumatic event?
Yes.
You also testified that at the time that you returned fire, you were further away from the house than when the shot initially came through the window, correct?
Yes, I was.
You also knew that your partner was on the sidewalk and he got hit by fire from that location, did you not?
Yes, I did.
So at that point, did you have any other concerns about your safety, even as you're standing on the sidewalk, farther away from the house than when you were, when the shot initially came through?
Yes, I didn't have any cover. We had nowhere else to go, and I attempted to move them. I could not.
Were you still concerned that you could be in the line of fire?
Yes, we still were in the line of fire.
Nothing further.
Anything else?
Officer Simmons, you just testified that there are 2 different audio clips.
Yes. Well,
Why do you believe there are 2 different audio clips?
because once I had gotten to the hospital, they had asked me what happened to describe to them because they had called out a barricaded gunman and they needed information for SWAT.
And how did you relay that information?
It was on District 5 over that channel.
So that was over the radio.
Yes, I believe that was because I don't ever recall giving those specifics until I was at the hospital.
The audio clip that you heard, the only one that is in evidence,
Yes.
that was directly following the moment that a shot was fired from inside the home of Mr. Plummer. Is that correct?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
Are you saying that the audio that we heard was one clip, or is it actually 2 clips put together?
To me, it's from what I recall from the situation, it seems like it's 2 clips that are placed together.
Officer Simmons, last few questions about this audio. It's kind of puzzling to both attorneys. You, on that audio, were yelling, saying officer down, repeated what you had just done, and you were calling for backup. You would only be doing that if you were at Mr. Plummer's home, correct?
For that part of the clip, yes.
And that's the only part that we played in this courtroom.
Except to describe the situation. I never recall describing the situation to anybody on the radio. My main priority was my partner's safety and to get him help.
I understand what you may or may not recall. My question is, what did you hear just now in that audio clip? In your
I heard
description-
them concurrent together, running together. But
Your description of what happened came before you asked for backup on that audio clip, did it not?
no.
No further questions.
Can we identify the file number that has been admitted on record so that we can go back?
Yeah, do you mind if I replay that audio clip? Because there seems to be some confusion.
Who's confused?
Oh, the court said I'm satisfied. Okay, thank you. And that audio.
Any redirect?
I just want to get the file number and,
It's channel 5, 417, 17. Immediately address on it.
and for the record, can you see where you got that?
For the record, this was given to the defense in discovery by the prosecution.
I think you're all done, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's been played not on the disc, but that's been played on the computer.
No, it's played from the desk that I received. Yes.
Okay.
Thank
Next
you.
witness. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, officer.
Yes.
Can I have you come back just for a moment? Let me remind you that you're still under oath. I did have a couple of questions. You mentioned that there are a lot of break-ins in this area.
From what I was not aware. It's stated that there was a break-in at the house, though. Yes.
I thought I recalled you saying that you had responded to a number of break-ins over your short tenure with the...
Not in that area, just in general.
You got out of your vehicle, did you have your weapons drawn?
No, we did not.
At what point did you announce your presence?
Right before the blast. Got silent, there was a dog barking, and then I announced my presence once it was quiet, because I believe somebody was coming to the door.
I see. Did you do that simultaneously to when you were knocking on the door, or?
I just stopped knocking, and then,
Okay, so you were knocking first.
yes.
Knocking pretty loud?
Yes.
So you were knocking when the dog was barking?
Yes. Dog continuously barked until it sounded like, from my past experience from knocking on people's doors for police runs, that normally the animal will start barking once the owner or somebody's coming to the door.
So you knocked first and then announced your presence?
Yes.
You didn't do it at the same time?
No.
Any questions based on my questions?
Nothing further.
Thank you. You all said thank you.
No, Your Honor. We'll call Sergeant Hayes to the witness.
Okay. Sergeant, please step forward, give your name and spelling for the court reporter. Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. may begin when you're ready. Can you speak into the microphone for me, sorry? You want to stick your left on the stick, just swing that around. May begin.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Can you state your name and occupation for the record, please?
Elijah Hayes, Sergeant with the Detroit Police Department.
What is your current assignment?
Special Response Team.
That's colloquially known as SWAT team.
Correct.
Okay. And how long have you been on the special response team?
Approximately 14 years.
How long have you been with the Detroit Police Department?
19.
Were you working for the Detroit Police Department on April 16th, 2017 into the early morning hours of April 17th, 2017?
Yes.
On that date, or on those dates, did you get called out to 20524 Le Jour in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
Why did you get called out to that location?
We were recalled to the location for a barricaded gun.
When you say we, who is we?
The Special Response Team.
And did you get to that location?
Yes.
And what was the first thing you were able to observe about what was going on?
They had started setting up a barricaded gun scene. A staging area had just been, which was 1 block west of the location. I pulled up. I got into my gear. I met with the commander, and we had started talking about what had happened at the scene. When he received a phone call, or not received it, he was given a phone, and it was one of the occupants of the dwelling that he was talking to.
And that's what the commander conveyed to you? Were you able to hear that? How do you know?
Yes, he was on the phone, and he was telling me what was going on.
Okay. And based on the information that you got from the commander, what did you do next?
I headed over to the location. He basically explained that they were going to come out.
When you say they were going to come out, who was that?
Then he indicated there were multiple people in the household. And he said, I'm talking to the female, and she says they're going to be coming out. So I let him know that, all right, I'll head over to the scene.
You said the household was at 20524 Le Jour?
Correct.
Did you get over to the scene?
Yes.
And did you see if people ever came out of that location?
Yes.
And how many people did you see come out of that location?
3.
Could you describe those people?
Heavier build, black male, another black male, thin build, and a black female.
Do you know the approximate ages of those individuals?
I don't remember.
Do you recognize any of the people that came out of the house that are in the courtroom today?
One of them.
Could you point that person out, please, and describe what he or she is wearing for the record?
White dress shirt, dark vest pants, and a tie, gray tie.
And point to where he's sitting. Your Honor, may the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant in this matter, Mr. Juwan Plummer.
So noted.
Once those individuals, did they come out of the house all at once, or how did they come out of the house?
One at a time.
And is that consistent with DPD procedure?
Yes.
What happened after they came out of the house?
They were detained by patrol officers that were in the alley with me.
Now, were you part of the team that went into the house, or was,
Yes.
did you get inside the location?
Yes.
Do you know if there was anyone else inside the location after you observed those 3 people come out?
No, after clearing, we found the occupants in the household.
Can you explain to the court what you mean by clearing?
Searching the dwelling for other individuals.
I have nothing further for the citizens.
Cross-examine.
Good afternoon, Sergeant.
All right, hello.
When the 3 people came out of the home, how would you describe their demeanor? Were they cooperative?
Yes.
Were their hands up?
Yes.
And you conducted the search, correct, of the home?
With the team, yes.
And how was the search conducted?
I don't know. What do you mean by how?
What's your procedure for conducting the search of the inside of the home after an incident like this?
Searching for bodies or individuals. We don't search for evidence or anything like that.
So you kind of do a cursory glance in each room?
Correct.
Did you create a mess at all, or you simply looked around and exited?
Just looked around looking for places that a person could hide, but not